Everyone is searching for the right person, but almost no one is becoming the right feeling. The day you stop chasing a wedding and start living as someone who already knows love, respect, and commitment, everything begins to change in ways you never imagined. The greatest love story never begins with another person. It begins with a decision inside you. Long before two hands hold each other, two hearts meet, or two lives become one, there is an invisible moment where everything is quietly set into motion. Most people spend years searching outside themselves, hoping someone will complete them, validate them, or finally make them feel worthy of love. Yet the strongest relationships are never built on emotional emptiness. They are built on emotional abundance. The life you desire does not begin on your wedding day. It begins on the day you decide to become the person who already carries the peace, confidence, and joy of a deeply loved partner. That invisible transformation changes everything before the visible world ever catches up. Many people believe marriage is the destination. In reality, marriage is often the reflection of who you have already become. If your heart is filled with fear, doubt, insecurity, and constant waiting, those emotions quietly shape your daily actions. But when your heart begins to experience gratitude, trust, patience, and certainty, your entire energy shifts. You no longer speak from desperation. You no longer think from loneliness. You begin living from completeness. That is where true attraction begins. Not because you forced life to change, but because your inner world became strong enough to welcome the love you have been preparing for. Real transformation always starts within, before it appears around you. Think about someone who is happily married. Notice how they usually carry themselves. They often move with calmness instead of panic. They make decisions with confidence instead of fear. They expect loyalty instead of betrayal, because their heart already recognizes security. Now ask yourself a simple question. Why wait until marriage to experience those qualities? Why postpone peace until someone else gives you permission to feel it? The moment you choose to experience those emotions today, you begin changing your relationship with life itself. You stop acting like someone who is missing love and start living like someone who naturally attracts it because it already exists inside. Your imagination is more powerful than most people realize. Every great achievement, every meaningful relationship, and every extraordinary life first existed as an inner picture before becoming reality. The mind cannot always distinguish between a vividly experienced emotional state and an actual event. This is why your daily feelings matter so much. If every day you imagine yourself abandoned, disappointed, or rejected, those emotions become familiar. But if every day you quietly experience appreciation, companionship, laughter, commitment, and shared happiness, your heart begins accepting that reality as natural. Soon your words change, your posture changes, your choices change. Even your expectations begin serving your future instead of your fears. The mistake many people make is believing another person will finally heal every wound inside them. While healthy relationships bring comfort and support, no human being was designed to carry the responsibility of completing another person's identity. Entering marriage while emotionally empty creates pressure. Entering marriage emotionally fulfilled creates freedom. Love flourishes where two complete individuals choose each other, not where two broken people desperately expect each other to remove every pain. The strongest commitment grows from wholeness rather than emotional dependence. Become emotionally rich before asking someone else to share your life. There is incredible power in ordinary moments. Washing dishes with gratitude, preparing your room with care, speaking kindly to yourself, planning your future with excitement instead of anxiety. These simple actions quietly teach your subconscious that love is already part of your identity. Every peaceful evening becomes preparation. Every thankful morning becomes rehearsal. Every confident decision becomes another step toward becoming the version of yourself, capable of sustaining lasting happiness. Great relationships are rarely created by dramatic moments alone. They are strengthened by consistent attitudes practiced long before two people ever meet. Stop measuring your future by today's circumstances. Many people stare at an empty seat beside them and conclude they are alone. They count birthdays, compare themselves to friends, and allow disappointment to become their identity. But your current situation is only a chapter, never the entire story. Every meaningful season has its own preparation. Trees grow roots long before anyone celebrates their fruit. Buildings develop foundations long before anyone admires their beauty. Your unseen growth matters. The confidence you build today may become the reason your future relationship remains strong when challenges appear. Never underestimate invisible preparation. Imagine waking up tomorrow already believing that love belongs in your life. Imagine speaking with confidence because rejection no longer defines your value. Imagine smiling because your future feels secure even before you can explain why. That emotional certainty changes your decisions. You stop settling for unhealthy relationships because you no longer fear being alone. You stop begging for attention because you already recognize your worth. You become selective instead of desperate. Wise instead of impatient. Calm instead of impatient. Those changes naturally guide you toward healthier connections because your standards begin matching your self-respect. Patience becomes easier when your heart is full. Waiting does not feel painful when you trust that every season serves a purpose. A farmer never digs up planted seeds every morning just to check whether they are growing. He waters them faithfully because growth happens beneath the surface before it appears above the ground. Your emotional growth follows the same pattern. Every day you practice gratitude, confidence, kindness, forgiveness, and hope. Unseen changes are taking place within you. Those invisible victories eventually produce visible opportunities that once seemed impossible. Never confuse silence with absence. Growth often whispers before it speaks loudly. One powerful habit is learning to celebrate your future before it fully arrives. Gratitude is not limited to things already visible. Gratitude can also become an expression of confidence. Wake each morning thankful for the person you are becoming. Appreciate the wisdom you are gaining. Appreciate the emotional strength replacing old fears. Appreciate the lessons that taught you resilience. This grateful attitude changes how you walk through life. Instead of constantly asking, "When will everything happen?" you begin saying, "I am becoming ready for everything prepared for me." That small shift changes your entire perspective. There will always be voices telling you that time is running out. Society loves deadlines. Comparisons fill conversations. Expectations create pressure. But your journey cannot be measured by someone else's calendar. Every meaningful relationship has its own perfect rhythm. Some people marry early and continue learning love afterward. Others spend years developing character before meeting the person who fits naturally into the life they have already built. Your responsibility is not to compete with another person's timeline. Your responsibility is to become the strongest version of yourself, so that when love arrives, you are prepared to protect it, nurture it, and appreciate it fully. Every conversation you have with yourself matters. The words repeated in private eventually shape the life lived in public. Replace sentences filled with hopelessness with words filled with possibility. Instead of saying, "Nobody wants me," begin reminding yourself, "I am growing into someone who gives and receives genuine love." Instead of focusing on absence, focus on preparation. Instead of feeding insecurity, strengthen confidence. These daily conversations quietly rewrite your identity. Your future follows the direction of your dominant beliefs far more often than temporary emotions. Never forget that real love is not simply an event. It is a lifestyle. Marriage is not just standing together during beautiful photographs. It is choosing patience during misunderstandings, kindness during stressful days, encouragement during difficult seasons, and loyalty when life becomes complicated. Those qualities can be practiced long before another person enters your life. Become patient today. Become faithful today. Become encouraging today. Become compassionate today. The habits you develop now become the foundation your future relationship will stand upon. Strong marriages are built long before vows are spoken. The beautiful truth is this: when you marry the feeling before you marry the person, you stop living in emotional poverty and begin living in emotional abundance. You discover that peace does not have to wait for a ceremony. Confidence does not require a ring. Joy does not need external permission. Love begins as an inner condition before it becomes an outer experience. The world often tells you to wait until everything changes before feeling happy. A wiser path is to become happy in preparation for everything that is coming. So beginning today, walk with quiet confidence. Speak with hope. Think with gratitude. Protect your peace. Build your character. Treat yourself with respect. Live as someone preparing for a lifelong partnership rather than someone desperately searching for one. Every day becomes meaningful when your heart is aligned with the future you desire. Every choice becomes another brick in the foundation of the life you are building. One day, when you finally stand beside the person who shares your journey, you may realize something extraordinary. The greatest miracle was never simply meeting them. The greatest miracle was becoming the version of yourself who was ready to recognize, receive, and cherish that love. And that transformation began the moment you chose to marry the feeling before you ever married the person. That is where every lasting love story truly begins.